Alright, yeah, welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and today, instead of the Brawler days, we're going to be doing some historic Brawl, and we can do that through arenabrawl.net, so that's what we're going to be doing, and we're going to be challenging strangers on the internet outside of this event, and we also get to do it in Historic. Today we're going to be playing T6feri, not T3feri, not Big Teferi, T6feri. T6feri is the Planeswalker deck Planeswalker, and do not let him fool you by thinking he's bad. He's very much not bad at all. 6 mana for a 5 loyalty Planeswalker. The +2 allows you to untap one target artifact or creature. The -3 allows you to gain 2 life and draw 2 cards, and the -9 allows you to take an extra turn after this one. The deck is kind of built around doing Teferi shenanigans, but we are very much a draw lots and lots of cards and control the game kind of style. It's not going to be particularly fun for our opponent to play against us, but we have plenty of ways of ramping into Teferi, and then once we've got to Teferi, then the ramp that we got will actually help us excel into some big stuff. So what are we going to be planning on doing? Well, taking near infinite turns is one thing that we can do with this deck, so the main piece that Teferi Timebender goes well with is that +2 to untap an artifact or a creature. The artifact that we want to be untapping most of the time is going to be Gilded Lotus. It's completely fine to have something like Firemind's Vessel, or even Azorius Locket, Arcane Signet, or Mindstone. We got lots of mana rocks, so that's where we're going to be leveraging that +2. We're going to make him cheaper, essentially. So if you have a Gilded Lotus in play, and you get Teferi down, that's a 3 cost reduction, and that puts him in 3 fairy levels of price. So that's a 3 mana, 5 loyalty Planeswalker that ends the turn on 7 loyalty, if you think about it that way. We can also draw loads of cards, so he's better than Teferi Time Reveler. Yeah. But yeah, as I mentioned, we're going to be doing some ramps, so we can tap Gilded Lotus, untap Gilded Lotus, and that gets us 6 mana plus whatever amount of lands we've got at that point. Should allow us to cast some of the biggest cards in our deck, so that could be a Magic Mirror, which allows us to get insane card advantage and run away with the game. We got some extra turn spells as well. Nexus of Fate's in here, as well as Karn's Temporal Sundering, so 2 ways of gaining an extra turn outside of Teferi Timebender's ultimate, which is definitely possible through Oath of Teferi. We are Teferi Tribal, so as I mentioned, we do have Big Tef, we have T3feri, and we have even bigger Tef. This is biggest boy Tef. So, you know, looping those together with Oath of Teferi allows us to flicker spells as well, so if we want to untap some artifacts or something like that, like Gilded Lotus, with the Oath of Teferi, then we can absolutely go and do that. Oath of Teferi gives your Planeswalkers additional activations, so this guy goes from 5 to 7 to 9, and then the next turn, he goes up, he goes down. You've just got yourself an extra turn, so it's pretty easy to do that. Oath of Teferi and Teferi Time Hero of Dominaria is also very good. It doesn't take too long to get to that ultimate either. Also drawing additional cards similar to Teferi Timebender's Tick Up to reduce the cost of Teferi. With an Oath of Teferi in play, Teferi can actually make himself cost 1 mana effectively by untapping 4 lands with an Oath of Teferi out, so this is pretty much free to play and gives you absurd card advantage. We have the Honorary Teferi as well in Spark Double, which yet again allows us to get some additional activations, so with Gilded Lotus in particular, this is a 4 mana card that effectively becomes Teferi Time Raveler and untaps for 3 mana. So this is a 1 mana gain a Planeswalker on Teferi Timebender. It's absurd. It is absolutely absurd. But as I mentioned, we're a control deck, so we have a lot of board wipes. We have Settle Wreckage, Cleansing Nova, Realm Cloak Giant. We have some removal in like Eugene, lots of bouncing and tucking as well with Teferi. We got some Glass Caskets. And we're also running a counter package as well. Tail's End auto-include in any blue deck, especially blue counter decks as well. Counters target opponent's commander. Disdainful Stroke, 9 times out of 10 is going to do that as well. Gets rid of any card with converted mana cost 4 or greater. This is the format for cards of 4 mana cost or greater, so this again is basically just a hard counter. We got Sinister Sabotage in here, we've got Absorb, and we've got ways to recur these back and forth as well. So there's a lot of familiar faces that you'll see in here as well. As far as control packages are concerned, you know, we have the Chemist's Insights for the card draw. We've even got Gadwick the Wizened. 3 mana and an X for a 3/3. You can pay the X to draw X cards. If you draw enough cards, you win the game. Simple as that. You also can tap down creatures when you play blue spells. Most of our deck is blue spells. When you're cracking things like your Fabled Passage, you pretty much want to go grab blue, specifically for things like Gadwick, because the 3 blue is a bit taxing. Most of the taxing cards in our deck are actually going to be the 3 blues, like Magic Mirror, Gadwick. We do have some double whites in here in the Realm Cloak Giant and the rest of our board wipes, but once you've got 2 white, you really just don't need any more. You'll naturally draw your way to the rest of them, so you want to be grabbing blue sources from that point forward. In addition to that, of course, all of our mana rocks, most of our mana rocks at least, actually add colours, so you fix your mana that way. So you want to be grabbing lots of blue. That's the idea. You just need some white for some of your counter magic and your board wipes and removal. Oh, there's also a time wipe in here. Did I forget that one? I think I did. But yeah, all the board wipes, loads of counter magic, loads of removal, and lots of card draw and extra turns. This deck is absurd. Yeah, it's really good. Don't let him fool you. Do not believe the lies that this is a bad card because it came out of Planeswalker deck. It is not, and I'm going to show you. Without further ado, let's get into the gameplay, and I'll see you there. Alright, we're in, and we got no blue mana whatsoever. And honestly, the hand's not that great to begin with, so we're going to take our free mull. This looks miserable for our opponent. So actually, honestly, might be just fine. I kind of want some card draw and some artifacts, but we'll take it. Alright, Island. Our opponent is playing Corvold, the Fey Cursed King. 2 black, red, and green for a 4/4 flyer. Whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, sacrifice another permanent. When you sacrifice a permanent, you put a counter on Corvold and draw a card. Alright. Our opponent leads with the Goose God. So we're just going to go and hold open our veto and hopefully actually hit something. We'll see. We will see. Command Tower as well for our opponent means that they've got some decent mana on their way. I honestly don't know how we fare against this matchup. This hand's definitely not what I was hoping for. But, you know, we'll take it for what it is. Ooh, Narset. Alright, that bodes well. Let's get Narset down. No card draw for them. It kind of shuts off Corvold to a certain extent. They get a counter on it and it doesn't draw a card. So half of it's done, and Narset replaces itself, whiffing in a control deck. What a time to be alive. Okay, so our opponent gets to do whatever they want now, because Narset failed me. Why, Narset? Why? Nearly the entire deck is non-creatures. It is non-creature, right? It is non-creature. 3 lands and a Nether Hall. Oh boy. Alright, well, at least we're either getting a card out of them, or we're getting another card off of Narset and shutting down the problem. We do kind of need to protect her in some way or another, but I imagine that we're going to be able to do that at this rate. Bedevil, alright. So a 1-for-1. Sure. Alright, let's go with Glacial Fortress. Allows us to hold up and Disdainful Stroke for their commander, as well as Dovin's Veto as well. So not too bad there. Really would love to get Corvold countered here. So not only does it basically kill a land with the Goose having to take a turn off. Absorb. I kind of want to. I just don't know what this does, though, is the thing. I think I might just let it. I'll let it go. And then they can make food. Sure. That's not bad. The likelihood is that they're playing Corvold next turn, so Gilded Lotus does allow me to hold up and Disdainful Stroke. Fortunately, it's 3 of the same colour, so I can't do Absorb or Veto here. It's basically Disdainful Stroke, but it looks like they're planning on ramping into Corvold here. They're leaving open 1 food to crack to Corvold. Hopefully they don't have artifact removal. Field of Ruin. Okay. That is irritating on our mana base, but not the worst thing in the world. Making more food. I don't know what they're waiting for. Really has me quite confuzzled. Alright, so I can actually leave 5 mana open and get down my commander, which I really like. This is one of the things that T6feri Timebender does well. He's basically 3 fairy in this deck. So we get to hold up and veto for any planeswalker removal they might have right now, which there is a lot in Historic. And now we get even more. Looks like they've got something. Nope. Alright. Wilds. Pass the turn. Alright, so hopefully T6feri next turn gets to start drawing us some cards, because honestly this counter magic is nice, but it's not great. Cryptic Caves and Plague Crafter. Yeah, kinda gotta go for it. Leaves us susceptible to a lot of stuff, but at least we get to hold up in Disdainful Stroke for the first main phase. For whatever that's worth. Ooh, and we get Murderous Rider out of them? Okay. Command Zone, please. They have a lot of Planeswalker removal. I think it goes without saying. And yeah, they're going to the next phase. Okay. So I am going to want to get T6feri down again. And I think with 2 white we're okay. Let's just go get some more blue. We are quite blue intensive after all. This allows me to leave open a lot of mana as well. Untap Gilded Lotus. And I think I'll shock myself here. Why? Because we get to veto and stroke. Next time we might get Magic Mirror down. They've already got rid of their Bedevil. So that's one of their pieces of artifact removal. Sacrifice an artifact. How about no? We are going to need to minus T6feri to get some answers here, but Magic Mirror, if we can get that down, would justify me ticking up, I suppose. And the Eldest Reborn. Fortunately, I think, again, I'm going to have to say no. Do not want my commander going back into the command zone once again. I am going to minus T6feri here for the card advantage, I think. Chemisters. I mean, maybe we could see what Chemisters gets us first. Main phase Chemisters. Eugene. That's a good one. Eugene's a good one. We could also... Yeah, I think we're going to go Gilded Goose. Maybe it's Eugene. It's probably Eugene. Yeah, let's get Eugene down. And let's make some 2/2s. Azorius Guildgate's not great. It does kind of suck that if we want to draw 2 cards here, we're going to have to discard something that likely draws us more than 2 cards over the course of this game, but we should be okay. I think Corvold will be fine, because we can minus Eugene on it. If they don't play, then we have some hiccups to do. This is okay. If they're going to sack to kill a spirit token, we make our land drop. Feels like a not great line, honestly. Since this is card advantage for us. They don't know what we've got. I mean, we haven't got a good thing from that draw, for sure, but they don't know that. And killing Cavalier does get them back a plague crafter we have to be aware of, so we're going to need some Eugene tokens around. Assassin's Trophy on... I think that's my commander. It is. Alright. Well. Let's stay in the deck first. Command zone. Grab a land, another island, and then we're going to discard Azorius Guildgate to draw some more cards. 3 fairy. 3 fairy's not bad. We can actually just keep replaying 3 fairy and even go into the territory of playing the Magic Mirror as well. So untap Gilded Lotus, play Field of Ruin, play Magic Mirror. And we're going to tick up and block the Cavalier instead of ticking down and killing it. Because we have to deal with Plague Crafter if we tick down and kill Cav. So they can have the life gain until we take over this game. Alright, there's Corvold. Sack and draw. Going for the food token. Presumably. Could do a colourless land, I suppose. I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing. Yeah, I think we are in an absurdly good position now. It's close to being not great, but we're drawing plenty of cards off Teferi. We're getting Arch of Araska for our land drop. We've got Eugene to minus on Corvold. 3 fairy to bounce. There's just so much going here. And obviously Magic Mirror doing its thing. So let's draw 2 cards. Search for Azcanta at Midnight Clock. Alright, so let's go to Fairy. I think we might actually just bounce Corvold.
I've done the hero thing before.
Let's just be really irritating. We can do the same to Cavalier as well. If they want to destroy something, then they have to sack another creature, which is okay. Let's play Castle Ardenvale for the token. Let's get Midnight Clock down. Let's get Search for Azcanta down. All the card advantage in the world right now. Tick up on Eugene. We've got 30 cards left. We do have to be aware of that.
Secrets manifest before.
Glass Casket to get rid of Murderous Rider. And there's no damage coming our way anymore. We are prepping to draw 7 and put all of our stuff in our graveyard back in. So decking ourselves on the Magic Mirror is not really likely to happen. Burglarat, we've got excess lands in our hand. So let's get rid of the plains. There's Corvold. Forces a sack. See where they go with that. I'd like to see them do Burglarat so they've got less creatures to play with. And then I can bounce once again. So let's just bounce Cavalier of Night back to their hand. Khan's Temporal Sundering, okay. Alright. So we got ourselves an extra turn. We got a bounce on Corvold. We got a search flip. We'll graveyard that. Transform that. Yeah, this game's well and truly over. Oath of Teferi means lots and lots and lots and lots of turns. Alright, so we go Khan's Temporal Sundering. We take an extra turn, bounce your Corvold. Yeah, this is it. Because Oath of Teferi means that we've got additional tick-ups, so we get loads of Eugene targets. We take extra turns, hopefully with Teferi Timebender, getting some good stuff along the way. We've got Azcanta to go and search for some new cards as well. And yeah, it's just completely locked out of the game. The only issue would be if we were to deck ourselves. But before Magic Mirror does the damage, we could probably destroy it with Eugene, or even go Midnight Clock, shuffle our graveyard back in, and then we've got some extra tech to work with, so it's really not too much of an issue there. So yeah, solid game 1 there. Fantastic. Alright, we're in, and the hand is... it's fine. We've got a turn 2 veto on our hands here. We've got some tempo swinging with Brazen Borrow, and we can shut off card draw as well. Our opponent's playing Muldrotha the Gravetide, 3 and Sultai colours for a 6/6. During each of your turns, you may play up to 1 permanent card of each permanent type from your graveyard. So very much a Graveyard Matters synergy deck. We don't really have Graveyard Hate in our deck though, but we got some counter magic here and lots of disruption. I think I'm going to keep it, although I'm not too pleased on the lack of lands. Hopefully we can dig our way out of that one. Problem is we're thinning as well with the Fabled Passage at this rate. There's an opt. Okay, well, that can help to a certain extent. If we're not going to veto next turn, we can opt. Stitcher's Supplier to fill the graveyard. Yes. Carnity and Hydroid Krasis. Alright, so we know that Muldrotha is capable of drawing a lot of cards already. We're going to go grab an island. We have things like Gadwick in our deck, so we want to make sure that we have lots of blue to work with. And as you can maybe tell, you know, the white is mostly just a helper splash kind of thing. There's a Leyline Prowler. That is probably going to get Brazen Borrowed, honestly. Let's get that out of the way. It's ramp that we don't want our opponent having, and it's damage that we'd rather than not have. I mean, we want some lands as well, so I'm going to go with the opt here. Meandering River. I was really hoping to hold up and Sinister Dovin's Veto, but yeah, take what we can get, I suppose. To be honest, holding up and Sinister Sabotage would have been lovely, as I was about to say. So, Realmclaw Giants looking like our key to success here. If we can get that done ASAP, that'd be lovely. I think I'm going with the Anticipate for a land drop. Jesus. Seriously? Please, lands, where are you? Even artifacts at this point are fine. Where are they? I think I'm just going to take a board wipe. It's looking like this is going to be a creature-based win anyway, so... Guardian Project. Ugh. Not very good for board wipes when you cannot really lock your opponent out. Are we playing Mindstone? I mean, it's better than no land drop, right? Not by much, but it is. Yeah, the big issue we have now is that... That's to go. Guardian Project replaces every single creature that they play. Yarok in the graveyard's a big problem as well. Thank God for that. Alright. Let's go with... It might just be Teferi, honestly. I think it might just be Teferi. Yeah, let's go for it. He gets hold up and veto, which is not amazing, but...
We need to move quickly.
Better than nothing. We get Nazori's Guildgate. Alright, so untap our dual lands for the veto. It's going to be Muldrotha though, right? They've filled their graveyards. Only for creatures, actually, so... yeah, maybe this might actually be the better call here. Going for Beast Whisperer for the card advantage, and... Pinging Teffy. Alright, let's tick up Teff.
Keep up the pace.
Firemine's Vessel. Alright. Do we just go for... I think we go for a Realmclaw Giant at this stage. Gets the mana off, forces them to have a land if they want to play Muldrotha. And we get Veto open off of Teferi anyway. Fills the graveyard for Stitcher's Supplier for sure. And puts an artifact in their graveyard. Alright. But I think we're looking in a decent position. Definitely better than I expected us to be at. Was there a land in there? Yeah, so they've got a land drop for the turn as well. Not anymore. Back to the hand. Alright, so Teferi, tick up.
Let's skip to the good part.
Field of Ruin. Let's get... I do want this Teferi Timebender down as well. We can get 3 mana, so we can hold up and Sinister Sabotage from Ultra-Otha. Untap the Mind Stone. Play Tranquil Cove, I guess. And then other Teferi. You can't call him Big Tef anymore because we got 6 Tef and 5 Tef. There's Agent of Treachery, which is not happening in a million years. Get out of here with that nonsense. Ooh. Yeah, I'll take a Gilded Lotus. That's a lot of ramp. Alright, so I'm gonna tap Gilded Lotus. Get Narset down, which shuts off the Guardian Project. Let's draw some cards because we're looking for counter magic. Spark Double. Oh boy. Oh boy. Counter magic? It's an Oath of Teferi though. Oh man, we could lock our opponent out of the game next turn. We just have to dodge Planeswalker removal. I'm taking the Oath of Tef. It's risky for sure. But I think we should be okay. And a Plains. Alright. So pass the turn. This one, this one. We got Spark Double, Oath of Teferi, so we can copy Teferi Timebender. We have the veto for the River's Rebuke. Yeah. Locked out of this game. So we get additional untap phases, which means Oath of Teferi nets us 1 mana, thanks to Teferi Timebender getting 2 additional untaps on the Gilded Lotus, generating 6 mana from the 5. We got Spark Double ticking up as well on maybe another Teferi Timebender. Then they're going to get into the position where they're going to be looping extra turns. All the while, Teferi is ticking up twice a turn as well, and netting us the emblem, which locks our opponent out of everything. Whenever we draw a card, they lose a permanent. Game's over. This deck is disgustingly good. Surprisingly, disgustingly good. Alright, we're in, and this hand's not looking too great. It does have Azorius Locket on 3, but we're literally just durdling around doing bugger all until then. I think we need something better. We need some counter magic, things like that. So let's take 3 more. This has Absorb. Mostly what we wanted from the last hand. Time Wipe's not great. Eugene's okay. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. I think Anticipate's going to fix this just fine. Alright. Yeah, and we also kind of have 2 tap lands in our hand. This needs a Plains to come into play on tap, so let's hope for a land off the top. Teferi Time Raveler could be okay. Really need that land though. A natural land would be great for the Azorius Locket. Otherwise, we're just going to be anticipating. There's Command Tower. Actually, I think maybe we hold open Absorb. Could get down to Teferi. Shuts down any counter magic they might have. Ooh, I kind of like that. Yeah, alright, we'll go to Teferi, and we'll go for the bounce since we have Time Wipe. I think we should be okay with that. Tail's End, let me untap, and this game is over. Our opponent appears not to be able to resolve anything here so far. Fabled Passage, really good. Yeah, so let's go with Fabled Passage, crack. And we will get an island. We could do Tail's End if they want to play something legendary, or we can hold up and Absorb by not doing anything here. We could do Anticipate on their turn, I suppose. Yeah, I think this might be the safer option. Save Tail's End for Nicol Bolas. We don't know if they're going to be playing a legendary spell here. We could actually Tail's End their Fabled Passage. I kind of want to. It'll mana screw them to death. Let's not. Let's be kind. Let's let them do it. It would be really funny though. Might make them explode. Good old Strip Mine. I think there's just benefit in countering their Planeswalker instead with the Tail's End though. Really slows them down and forces them to do nonsense. Alright, I'm going to take the Arcane Signet, because if we draw a land, then we've basically ramped. But if we take the land and draw a land, then we haven't. So, let's just Arcane Signet. And we get Chemisters Insight. Alright, Teferi's getting there. Let's get the Arcane Signet down. And let's pass the turn. Leave an open Absorb again. Since they could actually have Nicol Bolas here. Fires of Invention, actually no. Fires somewhat gets around command attacks. It always removes the 5 off of Nicol Bolas, essentially, which means you only have to pay for the command attack side of things. Not great for us. I think it goes without saying. Alright.
I've got it.
Alright, so... I think we're going Azorius Locket here. And going for the Tail's End. Could go Chemisters for the land drop. If we miss it, though, we can't counter Bolas, and that's very bad. So I think Azorius Locket here is fine. We got the minus on Teferi to draw a card. We're not really going to need it otherwise. Looks like he's going to bite the dust now. Yeah, Murderous Rider. Okay. And we draw a land. So do you kill Planeswalkers? You do. Obviously not ideal for that to happen. I really don't want to see Tail's End or Disdainful Stroke from our opponent. That could lose us the game. Maybe we just go Chemisters and Tail's End their Bolas, because that's what they're going to do next turn, presumably. If they don't, it's pretty obvious that they have counter magic. Yeah, I think I'll just take the opportunity to Chemisters here. With counter magic. Just going to go for the Murderous Rider. Yeah, this looks like a setup. Well, they don't have Disdainful Stroke. So that's good. We actually have Gilded Lotus now. So we can go Teferi Timebender. Tick up Teferi on Gilded Lotus. And hold up in Tail's End. We tick up 2 a turn on Teferi, so the Murderous Rider's not really a problem. And it's into Planar Beacon. Now we just need a backup counter for Bolas plus counter magic. If they're going for Bolas Sinister Sabotage or something like that. If they have the counter magic, we can get it out of their hand by playing like Eugene or Search for Escanta here for sure. Oh no, that's real bad. Chandra, Awakened Inferno can't be countered. I have beaten this before with this deck. But it is real bad. I really hope that they go for the tick up, honestly, instead of the tick down. I guess the tick down's not too bad, though, because we got the Tail's End. Yeah, just counter that. Oh, this actually could work out really nice. Because now we go float mana, play Ugin, minus Eugene on Chandra. We get to... let's see, where do we want to go with this? We're basically going to lose a Planeswalker to Nicol Bolas. I think that goes without saying. So it's what we want to do based off of that information. We could try and get some counter magic. Opt. Glass Casket. Okay, that gets rid of Murderous Rider at least. So let's do that. And then I think Surtra's Canter is really the best thing here. We're going to lose one Planeswalker. They get to choose which one. And then their tick down, I think, doesn't do anything, right? Because it says, yeah, you draw a card. So Narset's going to put a damper in that. A little bit of a damper, anyway. Just up until the point where we run out of things to sacrifice to it. But we've got Azorius Lockets and Arcane Signets, which aren't that great. So they're decent fodder. Now then, who do you value most? Which one is the worst for you? I think Eugene's probably the worst for them. Made ever so much easier by the fact that I'm playing a Planeswalker deck Planeswalker. Alright, we do not want a land, right? Not really. We'll just graveyard that. So we're getting one off Surtra's Canter anyway. Okay. Blue. Narset. Narset, tick down. Prism Realm. Okay. It's not too bad. Let's tick up Gilded Lotus. That's Prism Realm. Get to do some scrying as well, so we can maybe find something to counter Nicol Bolas. We did just put a Disdainful Stroke to the bottom, which would have done it.
Conceivable.
Oh. Conceivable. We can play that. So, top. That's a shame, but we're going off. Let's see, where do we want to go with this? Let's flicker Oath of Teferi with, what are we putting under it? I think just an Arcane Signet is fine. It's extra mana when it comes back. Narset. Nexus of Fate. It's not going to be enough. I can take Blink of an Eye, though, to bounce my own thing in response to the minus on Nikki B. So that's not too bad. Untap that. Pass. Bring back Arcane Signet. We've got the Blink plus Kicker now. So when they go Bolas minus kill Planeswalker, we just bounce it. We might just bounce Narset anyway. There's Nicol Bolas their entire turn. There's nothing they can do here that's good.
Will resonate throughout the multiverse.
Destroy Teferi Timebender. Bounce Teferi Timebender to my hand. Draw a card. Land drop for the turn. The only shame is that we don't get to reset Narset, but that's fine. Alright. Teferi. On the Gilded Lotus. Minus Teferi. Draw some cards. Nezahal. Let's untap Gilded Lotus. I think we go as Canter here. Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. Sure. Get down to Teferi.
If you show remorse,
We could... I think we get rid of Nicol Bolas. Just in case they have Elder Spell. Last thing we want is them putting all encounters on. And then we'll tick up Teferi. Untap as Canter and Command Tower. And we've got as Canter activation now as well. Liliana. That is totally fine. Not going to do anything about that. Make a zombie, sure. I think this is where the game is over, though. Whiff. Wow. And a land. Cool. Alright, well, let's tick up T6feri.
Hurry!
Realm Clutch Giant. Not that great, honestly. Let's tick up T6feri.
I'm not done yet.
It's a Mind Stone. We got 22 cards left. Let's activate as Canter, look for any of our extra turn spells. We got it. Sweet. Alright, so we take an extra turn and we bounce Liliana. I think we work our way towards an ult of T6feri Timebender here. So untap Gilded Lotus, tap Gilded Lotus, untap Gilded Lotus, play Nezahal. Still got our extra turn to play with. Oh no, this deck is bonkers. Planeswalker deck T6feri. Good stuff. Alright, well, that's gonna do it for today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this particular deck. It's a doozy, alright. We've been playing on stream quite a fair bit, and... well, actually, we've been playing the meme version, and the meme version's been doing crazy good stuff. The meme version being that we play Niambi, who fetches T6feri Timebender instead of actually just playing T6feri Timebender. Purpose of that? There is none. But it also has one persistent petitioners in there, so it should really give you a good idea of how good that deck is. Top tier. But yeah, this T6feri Timebender was my kind of competitive attempt at that meme deck, and good lord, is this deck good. Undefeated. It is insane. Hope you guys enjoyed this one anyway. Hope you guys have a wonderful holiday, if this is the last video of mine that you watch. I'll be doing one more before the holidays are upon us anyway, so look forward to that. Thanks very much for watching though, guys. Thank you very much for a wonderful year. Hope you guys have a good year as well. And yeah, you know the drill. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.